Welcome to the family with
co-host Catherine Brandt,
Alex Brandt Bernard Rasmussen,
Andy Brandt Bernard,
and Kristen doesn't have her mic on.
Is not hearable.
Kristen Burt.
There we go.
Oh my God!
Press
You and Alex got the mute going.
I'm acting like it's March 2020 and I don't know how to deal with mute.
Really nice.
You're muted. You're muted.
Oh, yeah.
Really nice. Ladies and gentlemen, today's show brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. And I should probably mention that I have a meeting with Josh later on today by phone to talk about some investment stuff with him.
Not sugar-coated advice?
Not sugar-coated advice. That's exactly right. But Josh and I are going to talk about some stuff that's coming our way, and he'll take care of it, so I don't have to worry about it. I am not the kind of person to worry about that kind of thing because what are you laughing about back there?
I'm not laughing. Jude is driving me crazy.
Oh, I thought you were laughing.
Ever since the grandkids showed up, he has been very clingy and laying on our laps and very... He's like,
well, Ethan's a little much, so.
Well, Ethan doesn't strangle him anymore, so that's
true. He's better than last year, but now we got Collins screaming all the time, so it's like, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kristen Burt, entertainment news brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. So, Kristen, what's the latest in Hollywood?
New show alert, and it's on Apple TV Plus. It is The Office, but it takes place in Hollywood. It's called The Studio. Great cast: Seth Rogen, Catherine O'Hara, Catherine Hahn, and it just totally roasts Hollywood and what it's like to try and make a film in this town. Seth Rogen pulls no punches. And what I love is that a lot of celebrities come in and out and make cameos, but the worst version of themselves.
Oh,
yeah. So it dropped today on Apple TV Plus. It's getting great reviews across the board. I think people are going to really love it. It's very, very funny.
Now, isn't Hollywood going to get pissed off about this?
Apple made it. Apple's we'll give you the money. Yep.
Yeah, so, it's got Zac Efron, Ron Howard, Zoe Kravitz, Anthony Mackie, Martin Scorsese, Charlize Theron.
Marty's in the first one. Yeah, Zach's in the first episode. You'll see.
And they all play themselves too.
Right. But they're playing a heightened negative version of themselves. Mm-hmm. Remember, this is just satire. So, but it's great. So I think Apple has another really good hit on their hands. And I know a lot of people don't subscribe to it the way they subscribe to Netflix. But if you've been thinking about it, you've been wanting to watch Ted Lasso and Palm Royale and The Morning Show. Here's another Shrinking. There's a lot of good shows to watch. So if you're thinking about adding one to your subscription portfolio, this is it.
So they're going to get all political because it's Hollywood?
No, it's the politics of Hollywood, not the politics.
Oh, thank God. Good.
You said Catherine O'Hara's in it? Yes. I love her. I love her. She's so good. And
how long did it take Seth Rogen to go?
Oh, God.
30 seconds.
He is actually a delight. I have interviewed him multiple times. He is so funny, so nice, really low key. I know people get this impression of him, but I'm he is one of the enjoyable celebrities to interview.
Is he really? Because I interviewed him once and he was a massive pain in the ass.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, it does happen. No question about it.
It does.
No, one thing that I've noticed lately in the world is, and I think it's a good sign actually, it's really easy to tell people's politics now because they're so divided. I have a friend who just got divorced a short time ago. And he has a new girlfriend now after, I don't know, he's been divorced for a couple of years or so. I don't know how long it's been, whatever. But I can tell by the way he talks to me that his girlfriend's very political. And I know which party too. Isn't that weird how you meet someone and all of a sudden you're deeply influenced by their views politically? It's so weird that happens.
Look at Bob Dylan was completely influenced by his first girlfriend.
He was, New York. Yeah. That's true.
Well, and I think now I even know that people who are on dating apps, your political party actually matters. If couples and have to be aligned more. There have been plenty of divorces over the last 8 years or so of people not aligning politically and that completely causing their divorce.
That's insane.
But I have a question. neither party matters to me that much, whether it's Republicans, Democrats. I don't care.
Young people are a lot more like,
It's different.
I'm in
It's-
this tribe.
I'm in a club.
Yes,
Is that
it's
what it
very
is?
clubby for them.
Yeah, I could see that.
Well, and I think too, where like it used to be religion was oftentimes
Yeah.
a clincher of like,
Yeah,
are
it
we
sure
both
was.
Catholic? Are we both Jewish? Like that type of thing. It's politics instead of the religion. People will
Yeah.
bypass the religion aspect of it.
So, Catherine, let me ask you a question. Do you think it was a coincidence that you and I just happened to be both Catholic? We didn't even know it. That we have basically the same political views, but we didn't even know it. I mean, did it even matter?
I never gave one crap
I didn't
about
either.
politics for
I didn't
many,
either.
many years
true.
until I started seeing.
You should go back to that. That was fun.
Yeah.
Then we
I loved not
Good
talking
move.
politics, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, and just being able to talk entertainment, honestly, is like, it's fluffy. I get it. But at the same time, it keeps me in a nice little bubble and I'm not constantly doom scrolling.
Oh, speaking of which, actually, we watched a new movie for once.
Like newish.
No, new. We watched Moana 2.
Oh, wanted to. Great.
Mhm.
Fabulous.
Yeah, it was good. It was very, very similar to Moana 1. Like, it kind of felt like Moana 1, like Mad Lib's version.
The
Moana's got a
music is
sail
not
blade
as good,
and-
but
Yeah, that's the first thing Melissa said. She was like, the music was not as good.
No,
Lin
And
Manuel
I
Miranda was
agree.
not on the second film, and you can tell.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't bad, but yeah, it wasn't anything close to the first one.
Not as memorable. I mean, there were so many memorable songs from the first one. There's just not that real big breakout song, but it's done very well for Disney.
It was a
So
good
they're
movie.
happy. It's good.
Well, something to say, because Catherine makes fun of me so much because I have gone so deep looking for something entertaining that I didn't even know I was doing it. But everything I watch is in black and white. That's how old it is.
You like the
there was
classics.
there were no politics in it. They didn't bring up politics in those old shows like that, which I don't want to hear it anymore. Look, we all live different lives. You believe what you believe. Good for you. I'm happy for you. I don't hate somebody because of their politics. My God.
yeah, and I think that the actors got to be more of a powerful
Yes,
presence in
absolutely.
Hollywood
Yeah.
after a while. It
Yep.
used to be that the studios ran them, and then when the studios sort of lost a lot of their clout, the actors, it's like, I think that's one of the reasons why movies are 3 hours long, is because the actors want to be in.
I think that's a
on the
director
screen
thing,
a lot.
isn't
That's
it?
a director thing. That's
is it?
definitely well. You have certain amount of you have certain directors that are still like at the top of the pile here, and you've got the Steven Spielbergs and the Martin Scorseses, Christopher Nolan. Who am I missing? Avatar. James Cameron. So
Yes.
all four of them are known for very long films, and no one's going to say this is the studio cut. You can't do the director's cut. They all get that final director's cut, and that's where we're getting those 3.5-hour films.
No, Mr. Cameron, this scene sucks. Get rid of it.
Oh, when I went to see Avatar, the last one, I was sitting there and I'm like, oh gosh, I can't wait any longer. I have to go to the bathroom. And it was an action sequence. And I knew I was going to miss absolutely nothing because it's just a bunch of people fighting. When I came back, they were still fighting. And, I understand you have to do the battle, but you don't need it to be a 25-minute battle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Sometimes those things are ridiculous.
Well, I think Kill Bill is probably the movie that made that into a thing.
Oh, really?
Quentin
Incredibly
Tarantino.
long fight scenes.
but that was actually funny.
Well, yeah, I mean, like The Matrix, it was all just people shooting at one another, but it was like in a cool way. You had the dodging bullets and that sort of thing.
Well, if
But
you
when
have
it's just
sharp
like two people
dialogue
punching
too,
each other, it's like, I don't know.
you need the sharp dialogue. If you don't have the sharp dialogue with it, it's just
I
another
feel like
action sequence.
I feel like the Cobra Kai this year is just so stupid.
Oh, it's really
Well, I mean, it's a
bad.
show about fighting, so
But
it's,
it's
what do you
bad.
expect?
But it used to be good. Now
Oh,
it's just terrible.
So good.
It
Those
was.
first 3-4 seasons were so
Yep.
sharp with the writing
Yep.
and propelling the storyline in an interesting way, even bringing back legacy characters that made sense. And now it just was like, how many karate sequences can we do? In your
Right. It's terrible this year.
That's
We've
a
only
bummer.
got like 1 or 2 episodes left, and we can't even turn them on. They're so bad.
Yeah. Makes you feel like, do I care how it ends?
Exactly.
No, I don't. I really don't. And we really did like that show a lot. We liked it a lot, but it's
Yeah.
just Now I like Alfred Hitchcock. That's what I like. That's what I like now.
Bringing Alfred back.
Bring it back.
I come in the condo.
Mhm.
I walk through the condo. I go
It's your
outside.
soundtrack.
I know. Your walking music.
Honest to God, and it's in my brain all the time because I don't know how
Well,
long are those episodes? A half an hour?
Half hour. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's a 1 hour one
and
too.
and you're just rolling to the next one. So
No,
it's the
no.
theme.
Yesterday it was Beyond Belief.
Beyond
Back to
Belief.
back.
Oh, okay.
I got 3 shows: Alfred Hitchcock, Beyond Belief, which is in color, by the way.
It is Jonathan Frakes.
Jonathan Frakes.
It never
Awesome.
happened. We made it up.
We made it.
It's
Yes,
fictional.
never happened. Made it. Yeah, I'm pretty good at guessing what's real and what isn't, though. I've gotten to be pretty good at that. And what's the other one I watched, Catherine? I watched Alfred
Gunsmoke?
Hitchcock. No, I don't watch Gunsmoke anymore. I've seen
no,
Gunsmoke about 15 times now. There's another suspense
Beyond
thriller
Belief thing.
Beyond Belief is that was one.
Twilight
of
Zone. Do you watch Twilight Zone?
He did.
You were doing that for a
Yeah.
while.
I can't remember.
I don't know.
I can't
It's
remember. what it
amazing
is,
because you do it every day. You should be able to remember.
but I like fiction more than I like real life. There's no question about it. Well, let me give an example. I really watch a lot of Alfred Hitchcock when I see people destroying other people's cars because they don't like the maker of the car. Well, it's not the guy who bought the car's fault. He
Yeah.
didn't know this was going to happen. I mean, those cars have been on the market for what, 17 years now?
When did what was the first one? Was it the S?
2008.
But I
Right.
mean, not the Roadster, because no one bought that.
I did.
Yeah, but, like when were they more common?
I
is
think
what I'm saying.
let's see, which
2008.
Tesla model was first? That was not the Roadster.
It's not the
Everyone's against me.
Everyone's
It
against him.
was the S in
Was it the
2012. So 13 years.
Oh, I thought it was 18 in 2008.
That was the Roadster.
Oh, that was a Roadster. That was the one that I owned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And nobody peed on it or pooped on it or anything back then because nobody knew who Elon Musk was. So that was
What's
good.
the most common one though that looks like Voldemort? It's not the S.
Why?
Voldemort.
There's a why.
If you look in front of it, it looks like Voldemort.
I'm gonna Google Tesla Voldemort car. Oh,
Cybertruck is really ugly.
oh yeah, you're right.
See, it looks like Voldemort. See?
Yeah, you're right. This one, whatever
What
this
is
one
that
is.
one? That's like the one you see all the time.
Which one is this?
I think the Y is the most common one.
Is it? Okay.
Well,
Do you
what are
know
you
what
looking
they
at?
spell?
No.
They're the
Oh.
models S, 3, X, and Y.
Oh God.
What's that spell?
Sexy.
Yep.
Oh,
I
those-
saw a Cybertruck yesterday, and someone had put Toyota across the back.
Oh God, why? Again, the person who bought the car did. So
The person who bought the car put the Toyota on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
oh,
would
I
leave
see
it
what you're
alone.
saying.
They did it.
Just trying to be like, no, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to do.
And everyone has a bumper sticker out here. Like, I bought this before Elon went crazy, or whatever
Mhm.
that bumper sticker says.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question. Why don't people do that to Fords? Because Henry Ford supported Hitler. That's a fact.
A Volkswagen was
forget
founded by the Nazi
history.
Party.
Yeah.
Volkswagen was
Volkswagen.
founded by the Nazi Party.
Right. Mercedes, like all of them.
Mercedes, yeah. Why aren't we burning them all?
Why don't they
We only
burn
know
them
what's
all?
right in front of us. That's
Yeah,
all
that's
we know.
true.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. It's whatever is right in front of you. But I had a friend of mine. I bought a Mustang years and years and years ago. Not the first one, Kat. I mean, not the second one. The first one I ever bought. And I went to a friend's house to pick him up, and his father or grandfather would not let him get into the car because it was made by Henry Ford.
Well,
But that was,
Standing on business.
yeah, I guess.
well,
but-
wait. When was it made by Henry Ford?
Well, no, I mean, it was Henry
I
Ford's
mean-
company.
I don't know. He died in 47, so it's possible.
I suppose if you had a 47, they didn't have Mustangs in 47 though.
No?
But I would not hold it against somebody for buying a car from the Ford Motor Company or Mercedes or Volkswagen or Tesla or what. The person who buys a car has nothing to do with the politics. And you're not
Of
even
course.
supporting politics because you don't know. They didn't know that was coming.
Well, yeah, nobody's car should be touched. I'm curious though. There are a lot of cars being turned in. Like, people are getting a different car, and
Oh, they are? Okay.
what's going to happen with all the Teslas out there? That's
Yeah.
my
No, there's still tons of people driving Teslas everywhere. Even
Oh,
in
yeah.
Minnesota, where it's like,
Yeah, there's a lot of.
if you're going to drive a Tesla anywhere, Minnesota is not the place for
Yeah,
it.
that's
Because,
for sure.
I mean, can you imagine one of those things in like 3 inches of snow?
Oh,
There's
God.
no way they work.
Oh, God,
No.
no.
But people, I mean, they're literally everywhere. You can't go to work without seeing a handful of Teslas.
Well,
I saw my first
everybody-
Lucid here this morning.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Lucid's-
they have a
Yeah.
Lucid dealership like a few
Yeah,
blocks.
Lucid-
We're seeing their Rivians.
Yeah,
Oh.
Rivians.
Those
Rivians
are getting
are-
really popular here.
Rivians
People are
very-
turning in their Teslas and getting the Rivian.
Yeah.
Rivians are very, very expensive.
Yeah,
Yes, they
Dan
are.
and I test drove one when we were in California because they had this random like pop-up shop movie theater thing. And
Yeah,
you-
that happens all the time. We do.
yeah,
pop-ups.
and I was like, sure. And so we test drove it. It was very nice, but it was like $140,000.
Yeah, you're not going to get a
A
Rivian for
Rivian?
less than $100,000.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, the thing about, people that are into the whole climate change is Tesla is the most affordable,
Yes,
the most
that's
reliable,
the thing.
the fastest charging. Anybody that's ever had one is like you drive another electric car and it's just
Yeah.
stupid.
They
It
were the
doesn't even
first
work
good
at all.
electric car, is what I
Yeah.
would
They
say.
were.
Mhm.
And that's why a lot of people still have one from 10 years ago because, I
Yeah.
mean, like,
You can get into one
There
for
was-
36,000.
there was the Nissan Leaf
Yeah,
and the Chevy Bolt.
Volt.
Which
Volt
burned.
with a V.
V. Yeah.
Which started
Yeah.
on fire.
So those existed before, but they just weren't great.
No.
But yeah, then the Tesla came out and it was
First
like
mass market one that really.
Yeah,
Right.
this is the first. This is like what electric cars should be like. And now there's a million options, and a lot of them are relatively affordable.
But,
But-
they still don't charge as fast.
It's still, well, I mean, it depends. If you can get a level 2 charger in your house, you'll be all right. But it's not possible, like physically possible, to charge an electric car with an outlet,
I have a question.
like in a fast, time frame.
I
Yeah.
have a question. How many people are employed by Tesla in America?
Lots.
I wonder. Let's see.
Is it 100,000 people or something? Is it that
Tesla
many?
Corporation. Do we have that?
Because that's my
Knowledge.
concern. Is like those people have nothing to do with his politics. They work for him.
He only owns 12% of the stock.
They
Oh,
have
is
a-
that right? I
Yeah,
didn't know
The
that.
rest
Yeah,
is owned by-
13%.
13%.
125,000 employees.
Yeah, see, the 125,000 people might lose their job because you're pissed off at their boss.
Mhm.
I don't
In a
know.
very bad economy and a bad
Yes.
job market. So
Exactly.
you don't want anyone losing their job right now.
I don't either. We better take a break here. We'll be right back in just a couple minutes right after this. Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Back in a couple of minutes.
From Bradshaw and Bryant, Michael Bryant. What's up, Allie?
Oh, not much. Doing my usual thing of telling people they shouldn't be texting and driving. In Minnesota, you can't have your phone in your hands. You can use, hands free, but you can't have your phone in your hand for whatever reason. And that's why they made the law the way they did, so that police officers could see a phone in your hand and you got no excuse for why you got it there.
Do people know that that's the law?
I hope so. I mean, they used to follow it, and then kind of COVID kind of made people forget. And now it's like a freewheeling world out there with cell phones.
Let's say you get pulled over because you do have a phone in your hand and you're not watching where you're going. You got to be in pretty big trouble then, I would guess.
Well, the first one's not as bad. It's the multiple ones, the problem. And once people start stacking them up, then they have a big problem. And then what we're doing in car accidents is we've started bringing motions for punitive damages, because I'm trying to use the civil law any way we can to stop this, because it needs to stop.
Whenever I'd had any problems in my life, who was that I called again? It was like an MB, something like that.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
You damn right. Let's talk about my bank. That'd be North American Banking Company, as a matter of fact. They sponsor Kristen Burt. Yeah, look, it's easy to feel like just another account number at the big national banks, but that's not how it works with my friends at North American Banking Company. Whether you're visiting their locations in Roseville, 50th in France, Hastings, Woodbury, Shoreview, or Maple Grove, you'll always find real people who know you by name and actually care about your finances, not some AI chat box. They also offer all the modern conveniences you could ever expect, like go online, mobile banking, online and mobile banking. That's good. But with a personal touch that only a community bank can offer. So why settle for less when you bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Visit nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. There we go. Kristen Bird Entertainment News is brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. I just got a message on my watch. What is the car that looks a lot like a Tesla, but it's not a Tesla? It's that same body type. It's that
Lucids look like Teslas.
Yeah.
Lucids. Okay, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Apparently, somebody set a Lucid on fire because they thought it was a Tesla.
Oh,
Oh, they did that to a Rivian too.
A Rivian too.
oh my gosh. Don't do that, people. It's not even good environmentally, too.
No, it's not.
Exactly.
Oh, that
I was
one
like,
guy that-
after what we experienced in LA with wildfires and a lot of Teslas and
Yeah.
other electric vehicles went up, you do not want that
Yeah.
in your city's atmosphere. Trust
Well,
me.
yeah, I mean, lithium-ion fires are not good news.
well, the
They are
guy that Molotov cocktailed a Tesla dealership and ended up causing a lot of problems. He's got big problems. He's probably going to end up going to jail for 20 years.
Really?
Okay,
I would
that's good.
hope.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just don't do that. Don't take it out on the owners of cars. They didn't know this was coming. They had no idea that he was going to be
This
part of
is
this administration.
misguided and ridiculous.
Really bad.
Misdirected anger. Direct your anger to the person you don't like, not toward
Exactly.
the owner.
I couldn't agree more. So everybody just calm down, relax. We don't stop being a tough guy.
Yes.
Well,
I have a
they're-
show for Alex, by the way.
yay! Because
Yay.
I was watching White Lotus, and I don't know if I can do it anymore. Went from boring to real weird. So
It took a turn. It
yeah.
took a hard turn.
it's getting too weird. I don't like it.
Well, you're going to have to wait about a month, but it is a new Amy Sherman Palladino show called Étoile.
Oh yes, I saw you post about this on Instagram, and I was like, what? Yes.
Yes. So it is about a ballet company that is struggling, and they are trying to make dance happen again. And Amy Sherman Palladino, known for Gilmore Girls, known for Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, known for Bunheads, just always great shows, really smart dialogue. It takes place in New York and in Paris. My friend is a choreographer, Marguerite Derrick. So I know she's been over in France for working on it for like 6 months, and it looks expensive, which I was like, Amazon sunk some money into this. So I think it's going to be a really good show. And I'm interviewing the cast on April 14th. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. And for people who did watch the Gilmore Girls, there are a lot of familiar faces, crossover characters, or Maisel, like Luke Kirby is in it. You know, he played.
I saw him in a trailer. I was like, oh, that's the guy from Maisel.
Yeah, exactly. So you'll see a lot of familiar faces. So it'll be kind of fun to spot who's in it. And a lot of them are main characters. So April 24th. Got to wait a little bit, but it'll be on Amazon Prime.
I'm very excited because
Yeah, I knew. I was like, I hope Alex is on because I was like, we could talk about it.
yay, I know. I'm so excited about it. I saw you posted something about it and I was like, what is this? And then I saw a trailer and then I kind of forgot about it.
Yeah, the trailer dropped today, so you can see it in my Instagram or Facebook story, or of course you can go to the Amazon Prime accounts and they have it running.
Hooray.
Magnificent.
I need a good show that's not going to make me feel like I'm going to vomit and cry.
It won't make you vomit. And Dance is happy.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh.
And we have a Tom Bernard listener, Jerry, had a question about the Netflix show Heartstoppers. It's been around for 3 seasons. It's about 2 British boys. It's an LGBTQ show. Have you watched it?
I love that show.
Yes. So he's like, hey, are we getting a season 4? And I was like, let me see what I can find out. And here, as of right now, it is still stuck in limbo, which is not great news because the longer Netflix waits to greenlight the show for a 4th season, the problem is that the actors' options on their contract drops, which means that they'd have to go back to the table, renegotiate the contracts for all of the actors, which also means it goes up in price and things like that. And you have Kit Connor, who's been on Broadway recently, and Joe Locke has been doing Agatha all along. So they've kind of moved on to other projects, which also makes it really a struggle. So if they can pull it together for season 4 and Netflix gives them the go, it's going to be at least late 2026 at this point before we see another season, which is hard.
Yeah.
You know,
Long time to,
long time. So right now, I would say it's not good news, but let's hope that somehow they change their minds.
That's it. That's such a sweet show. Everyone's so cute and sweet and fun.
Yeah, Heartstopper. There's 3 seasons if anyone wants to watch it on Netflix.
MB in the chat wants to know about Hollywood Demons.
Hollywood Demons.
Sounds
All
good.
right.
It's on ID and Max, whatever ID is.
Oh, I know what this is. This is the show with Stephen Collins.
Yes.
And Seventh Heaven. So this is they're covering different people throughout the series, but right now they're focusing it on Stephen Collins, who was an actor who worked a ton, but he's probably best known for Seventh Heaven. He revealed that he had sexually abused 3 young girls.
God.
Yeah, and it wasn't revealed before he worked for years, like 7-8 seasons on Seventh Heaven, working with kids, by the way. The only reason it got revealed was because his ex-wife brought it to TMZ and brought the tapes from their therapy sessions.
Jesus.
Yeah. And as a result, for a long time, Seventh Heaven was yanked off the air, which, you think like, okay, that's punishing the person that did the crime, but it also punishes the other actors because then they don't get residuals off that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And, that happened with Cosby Show and things like that. And all of the kids that have worked on the show have said, we had good interactions with him, but we don't support him. So they're no longer in contact with him, but they did let everyone know that they were not abused in any way, shape, or form. But 3 girls, I should say, because they were underage, were sexually abused by him. And now it's been revealed that he is married to a fan of Seventh Heaven, and she's 40 years younger than him.
Oh,
Hey.
oh.
Catherine, be quiet.
Yeah.
I know she'll be claiming she's 40 years younger than me.
Yeah. So there's that. It's crazy because Seventh Heaven was such a wholesome show.
Yeah.
They preached about morals and values, and it was kind of corny, but it was cute. I watched it all the way through. I loved it. And then when you find out that happened,
No,
you're
no,
like,
no.
Oh,
Dude, man, they're
Jude is mad at Stephen Collins
He
too.
says
We get
no
it.
molestation.
Jude, you
No, they're
already
putting-
met them. You're fine.
they're putting some new plants on our balcony.
I
That's
found
nice.
somebody to take out those huge overgrown things
Honest to
that I
God, we had,
couldn't
like,
handle.
We had a forest out there.
Yeah, you sure did.
Big. It was unbelievable.
Well, things grow here all year round.
That
They
is
get
true.
big fast.
No question about it.
And Tom, did you enjoy any of The Office's 20th anniversary? 20 years this week.
Did not watch
Oh,
it.
is it this week?
What's
It
the
is this
anniversary?
week.
The
The Office.
Oh, The Office is a great
Wow, is
show.
it
I
20
love it.
years already? Jeez.
20 years.
Longer.
So if anyone is interested, the Hollywood Reporter did a great oral history of like the beginnings and how it didn't do well. They only did 6 episodes.
Yeah.
And NBC was like, we'll give it another chance for season 2. They moved nights and obviously caught on. But it's really kind of fun to look back and hear the cast thoughts. And, a lot of them were still
Mhm.
working jobs after they did season 1. They're on a network show and they're like, I didn't quit my waiting job because I just didn't think it was going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
And I didn't,
Yeah.
just funny stories like that. I love the anecdotes. And LA Times also has a look back at Jim and Pam's relationship and what Jenna Fisher stole from the set at the end of the series. It's always fun to see what characters, what items from their character that they're really, attached to.
Catherine and I watch these special episodes. They're longer than the normal ones.
Yeah, the
What a
super size.
Super fan.
Super fan
Mhm.
episodes or whatever they're called. That show, every episode is terrific. Very, very well written.
Yes. As long as like Steve Carell was there. I think it went down
Yeah,
once he
yeah.
left. You really saw his contribution to the show. But superstars. So many people have come out of that show
Mhm.
and really gone on to have great careers beyond The Office.
Yeah,
God,
he was
God.
Michael Scott. He just was.
He was.
He was
I
great.
gave Michael Scott, and that's what's interesting about watching season 1 and 2. 1, he was a little bit meaner. And then 2,
Really?
when you watch season 2, he brought in more heart. He's less harsh.
Yeah.
So he does things that are misguided and not always like the right thing to do, but he does it from a place of like, I actually care about my job and I care about my employees, even if I'm not like doing this the right
Mhm.
way. But there's more of an edge to him in the first 6 episodes. So go back and watch it. It's interesting.
He also did a show called The Patient, I think it was called,
Patient.
when some guy like chained him to a bed.
We had that Apple, I think it was Apple
Oh, yeah.
TV.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was really good. He was really good in that.
He's so good.
He
Is
is,
it
yep.
Foxtrotter too?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
the wrestling coach.
Yeah.
So creepy and good in that
Yeah,
too.
he was
He
really
got
good.
nominated for an
Creepy.
Oscar.
That's nice. It was
That's
really
his range though. Like that's what I love about
Yeah.
him. He
Yep.
can just be really dark, but he can also be really funny.
Mhm.
Yes, there's no question about he plays the moron perfect. He's a great moron. And I think you have to be very smart to be a moron on television,
Yeah, and it's why it makes me curious to see how they do the spinoff with the paper that's coming
Mhm.
up this fall, because I didn't feel like The Office was as strong the moment Steve left the landscape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do
the
you
show
have
won't.
another Steve Carell in the paper? I know that they're bringing over Oscar Nunez. He's going to be a crossover character. He's going to
Mhm.
play Oscar Martinez in the paper. So there's kind of a through line between the two series. But again, as good as Oscar Nunez is, the heart of the show was always Steve Carell.
Yeah, James Spader, was that who took his place?
James Spader came in, Will Ferrell came
Yeah,
in, Idris
yeah.
Elba came in. They had like a rotating group, and then I don't know, it just never landed the same way.
No, that's too bad because of the hell of it. We still watch it. Catherine and I still watch the
Yeah.
show. So
It's a great comfort show. If you're just like,
Mhm.
the world is crazy, I just need something that's comforting and I know it and it's funny. The Office is great for that.
Oh,
For
yeah.
us, that's Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
yeah, there you go. Exactly. Love that too.
Nothing ever goes wrong in the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
I have a little tidbit.
Okay.
Leonard Nimoy would have been 94 today.
I loved him.
I've interviewed him. Did you interview him, Tom?
Yeah, several times. He was just a nice man.
Such a
94 is not.
delight.
I would have thought he would have been way older.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Shatner is in his 90s too.
Yeah,
that
Shatner is
unbelievable?
very old.
Shatner is very sharp and virile. Like
Oh, yeah.
he
Yeah.
is killing it still in his
Yeah,
90s.
he's 94.
Yeah.
I should reach out to him because he used to be on my KQ morning show like
No.
4 times a year.
He says no podcasts.
No
yeah, he won't do podcasts.
He turned 94 4 days ago.
There you
Oh,
go.
well, happy birthday to
Happy
William.
birthday, Shatner.
All right, we got Kristen running overtime here. We can't be doing this. Kristen, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
See you all tomorrow.
Thanks,
Bye.
Kristen Burt. Entertainment news brought to you by North American Bank. A company, go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Take a break here. We'll be back in 1 minute right after this.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
That has to be 2 bass drums, isn't it? Nobody
I
can
would
pedal
imagine
that
so.
fast. That's pedaling awfully fast if it's only one. That's all I have to say. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Jim Paul's Valley Old bringing you more of the show. Bob Sansevere Sports brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyer seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. So let me know when Bob's ready to go, if you would, Andrew.
Let's see. Not yet.
Not yet, yeah. Bob comes on 11 at
Hurry up,
11:05.
Bob. He's very he's on the dot.
Yep.
Oh, he is definitely an on the dot kind of
Mhm.
person. He's doing very well with his podcast as well. It's interesting, because that whole deal came up about, because of the Mike Evans stupid thing that he did. The old deal came up with the cast and all the rest of it. And
Idiot.
most of that cast now, if they're even still in the business, are doing podcasts. I don't think one of them is doing radio anymore. I don't think.
Not that I know of. Well, wait. One of them, he had that. He has a radio station in Montana or whatever, right?
You mean Brian?
Is that Brian? I
Yeah.
don't know.
I don't
No,
know.
Brian doesn't have a radio station.
No, or I thought he.
was one.
Yeah, I thought he was on in Colorado or Montana or whatever.
He was in
Brian's
Montana
not-
and came back.
But I think he does. I think he still does the other one. I don't know. Someone in the chat might know.
Oh,
They
he
talked
is?
about it before.
Oh, I didn't know that. Because I know they fired him now too. So everybody's gone from the queue.
Yep.
And apparently they got it on hold. They got some mystery thing, but the mystery thing is when they come back, they're going to be way, way, way far left. That's their big secret.
Well, there you go, Tom, on the chat. Zep is still doing mornings in Montana. So
Is he?
There you go.
I didn't know that. Now, where in Montana?
One of the 3 cities, I'm guessing.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Which one?
Bozeman.
He's in
That's-
Bozeman?
I have no idea. That's one I could think of.
I don't know either.
It looks like he
Well, how the hell
might-
did he do mornings in Bozeman and do mornings in Minneapolis?
He didn't do. I don't know. I don't think it was Bozeman.
Bozeman thing was a joke.
Yes.
I
The
don't.
Eagle Morning Show with Zepp.
The Eagle.
Let's see, what is that?
Eagle Morning.
Yeah, there you go. You can do their
Great.
Well, the problem they have now
Tags.
is that I'm not trying to piss all over an industry and all the rest of it, but small towns are having a really tough time with radio now getting any inventory. So I don't know how that's even possible.
Eagle Montana Superstation.
It's a superstation. Okay.
Whatever that. I thought Eagle Montana Superstation was a gas station. So
Well, there you go.
let's see. Yeah, the Eagle. Oh, I don't. Oh yeah, no, they're on the radio 104.7 and 105.7 in Bozeman.
In Bozeman. But
Look
how did
at
he do?
that.
How did he do mornings in both markets? That's not possible.
He streams in like you, I think.
Oh,
No,
there's Bob.
No, but what I'm saying is they would have been on at the same time, except for a 1 hour change.
I remember you knew about this a long time
Yeah,
ago.
didn't
he
you
was
say he,
working
like-
he was working 2 shows for a long time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
didn't he like do them both at the same time? They'd like switch back and forth or
'Cause
something.
I remember you were
Weird
mad,
stuff.
or you said that somebody at the KQ was mad at him because he had said that if he signed with them, he would move back to Minnesota.
Oh, and then he didn't.
But he
yeah.
didn't want to, so they accommodated him.
Oh, yeah,
doing
here we
2
go.
shows.
Donald in the chat. He talked on KQ when he was playing music on the Eagle and vice versa.
Really?
That is some multitasking right
Yeah,
there.
that's multitasking.
Well, the Eagle is mostly a music station apparently.
Oh, I see.
So
okay.
he'd like, hey, this is the Rolling Stones or whatever the hell ever, and then he'd play the music, and then he'd switch back over to KQ and he'd start talking,
Well,
which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's not easy to do. I am very, very glad to hear and see that Mary's on the show, and she brought Bob with him. I suppose that's okay. What do you think, Mary? Is it okay
Great.
to have Bob on too?
I'm just kind of popping in here, so I'm a little bit behind on the, what's up.
So if I seem a little distracted, it's because I'm doing 2 podcasts while I do this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. You're doing 2 shows in the other show.
Tommy, take it from me.
Oh, good.
you're
We're on the
asking for
same
nothing but
page.
Trouble.
I'm what? I'm asking for trouble for
Yeah,
what?
what?
Oh, jeez.
Bob, put your
Yeah,
headphones
Bob.
on.
Yeah, can you
What's
not
up?
hear us?
Bob, what the hell?
You're talking. Tom is the host, Mary. Talk to him.
No, what, Bob? Why don't you have your headphones on?
Hello.
He can't hear me.
I don't think you can hear us.
Oh my
Put your
Bob,
headphones on.
Bob.
Should we
Okay,
all take our
I'm going through my phone. I can't hear anything.
Oh, well, that
Well,
would be
No,
why.
you can't.
really well.
You're sitting there like a stump.
Mhm.
I wonder if this ever happened to Zepp when he was on 2 morning shows at the same
Doggy.
time.
Hello, doggy.
Or is it on? There we go.
I can't hear a thing.
Still can't
You
hear
still
us. huh?
can't hear us. Boy, this is great. This is put together very,
But we'll
very
just
well.
carry on without you. Get your
Great.
act together.
Doggy.
Okay, have them figure it out. So, Mary, what's going on in your world?
What's the dog's name?
Hey, Tug, come here. Yeah, I had dogs photobombing. Get over here.
Your
His name is
photo.
actually Tug, which is short for tugboat.
Aw.
And he's named Tug because of Lyle Lovett's song, If I Had a Boat.
Ah,
It was kind of my favorite song, and I was talking to him a lot because I sold a pony to Lyle, and I wanted him to name my puppy, and he wasn't coming up with names, so I like the song If I Had a Boat. It's one of my favorite Lyle Lovett songs, so I said my dog is Tugboat. Well, my son came up with it, but it was because of his song. So that's the story of Tug.
Who did
Who's
Lyle
sitting
Lovett
behind-
date for a while there, too? He dated some very famous Hollywood star. Who was that for a while he was dating?
Julia Roberts.
Julia
It
Roberts.
was
That's
Julia
cool.
Roberts, yes.
That's right.
They
They were
both live in
married.
Texas.
Oh, they were married?
you can hear us
They
now?
were married briefly, yes.
So, Bob, you can hear us
Oh,
now?
Bob decided to join in. Yeah, so they were
Yeah,
married for a very short
sure.
time. They are still friends, and they both live in Texas. And
Oh.
was,
Are you just
know,
like in the other room from Bob?
No,
No.
Bob's in the studio.
Oh,
I'm in
so
a
he
whole
can hear
other
us now.
universe
Okay,
from
good.
Bob.
He can
Now
hear
you
us now.
So, Bob, you can hear us now.
I was hearing you all
Bob
along.
looks like he's got
You
his-
couldn't hear me.
Bob, you look like you have your phone on the floor, and you're
Oh, my-
looking down at your feet. I
Tom,
don't
you know-
understand that.
Girl.
Eye level.
Tom, the biggest mistake you ever made was inviting Mary to be part of your show. Because not only do I hear her rebuke me in my life, now I have to hear it on your show too.
Oh, you poor dear.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Sansbury
It's
Sports
only
brought
when
to you
you
by
deserve
Bradshaw
it.
and Bryant. She's talking over the commercials. You're
Uh-oh.
right, Bob.
Sorry.
See, I told you.
Bob Sansbury Sports brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyers seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at minnesotapersonalinjury.com. So what's the big news? Anything good going on?
No, you're twins. They open the season tomorrow.
Tomorrow's the day. I'm looking forward to it. Is it like a 2:00 start or something central?
Yes, I think it's an afternoon game. I was just talking to Jim Rich about it because he's in St. Louis for the game for Fox 9. And by the way, maybe by June, Royce Lewis will be back.
By June?
Well, I mean, a hamstring,
Yeah.
they could be months long before a guy's fully recovered from it.
But isn't he always hurt?
It appears to be. They
Yeah,
need to put him in bubble wrap.
I guess so. He gets hurt more than any player I can remember for a long time. I'll tell you
Which
that.
is a shame.
It is a
Although,
shame.
He's taking the heat off of Byron Buxton getting hurt all the time.
Yeah, he gets hurt all the time too. That's right.
Yeah.
So, how are you looking at this year? You think the team's going to be any good?
Well, Tom, I think if they stay healthy, they could be.
Yeah.
But they don't make. I mean, they haven't made any ridiculous wow, they're gonna look at the move. They got Shohei Ohtani. They're gonna go all the way. They didn't do anything remotely like that. But again, the team. I mean, there's talent there if they can keep them on the field. Don't you think?
I did get a good laugh of a quote that I saw. What's his name? Joe? Is it Joe Polad that runs the team?
Yes, he's the president of the team now. He's the owner of the team. However they structure it.
He had the seeds to say, when we sell the team, I'll step forward and help you run it if you want me to.
Yeah, thanks, but no thanks.
Exactly. It's like, what? Joe, the team has not won a damn thing since you've been running it, so let's not worry about it, shall we?
Or since your uncle ran it, actually, when your grandfather ran it and he basically stayed out of the way, that's when you won the World Series.
Yeah, twice. Absolutely. He literally stayed out of the way, and they won 2 World Series. And since everybody else got in the way, they haven't won a damn thing.
It's true. But you know what? Go back in time to the last time the Vikings won the Super Bowl, or the Wild won the Stanley Cup, or the Timberwolves won the NBA title. Well, I mean, I guess you can count the Minneapolis Lakers, but
yeah, the Lakers, but that's going back, in the 50s, maybe 60s?
It was the 50s. It was not the 60s.
It was the 50s. There you go. Yeah, I don't know. This sports in Minnesota is really in a bad spot right now. Just none of the teams are any good.
Well, Tom, the Gophers now have Nico Medved, who actually, I'm not going to dog him. He is a good coach. He's not like the last two, where Richard Pitino hired because his dad was famous. And then Ben Johnson, who was not ready to be a head coach in the NIL era when you had to actually give money to players from the play for you. So I don't think, I think Nico Medved's a good coach, but it doesn't matter because the Gophers are not going to come up with the kind of money to have good talent. There's too much money out there at other schools.
See, this is what I'm wondering, Bob. Was that a good idea, this money thing? You're in college. You're getting a free education. Why should you get paid on top of it?
Yeah, scholarship is worth like $200,000 these days, isn't it? That's a lot of money.
But that's, they were complaining and wanting for years to, what the hell is she doing?
I don't know. She disappeared.
Okay, just relax. Just focus.
Okay, my God. First, it looked like she had a tail wagging. And
yeah,
the dog behind you. Anyway, but the whole NIL thing, it's great that these guys can make some money, but they did it in tandem with the portal where, hey, I'm not making enough money. I'm going to go in the portal. They have made it. They went from being incredibly restrictive to now it's so easy for a guy to change schools. They're talking that maybe they need to put a restriction on. Maybe you can only, leave and go into the portal a couple of times and not go every year to keep making more money. Look at the NCAA Sweet 16. Not a single mid-major. They're represented by the Big Ten, the SEC, the Big 12, and there's one ACC team, and it happens to be Duke. No mid-majors, which is rare. It's been decades before we haven't seen a surprise team. All the money teams are the ones you're going to see from now on. And I don't think it's going to change.
Well, I mean, in basketball, why would anybody come to Minnesota? If you want to play basketball, wouldn't you go to a southern state where it's nice and toasty all year long?
Well, there have been guys that have come up to the Big Ten because over the years, I was always stunned that any Big Ten team could do as well as they have because of the weather. You'd think you'd want to go to an SEC like Florida, right? Florida's a top seed. Why wouldn't you want to go to Florida?
Exactly.
Because you're right, the weather.
Yeah, you're talking about Texas, California.
Hawaii
Florida.
should be the top team in every sport. I don't understand that.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So what else is going on in the world, Bob? What's going on politically, Bob? Because I know you keep an eye on it.
Got a poll ad thing.
You got a poll ad thing?
They're asking for $1.7 billion in twin sale amid team's $425 million debt.
Oh, good. Good. That's a good idea. Why are they $400 million in debt?
That's a really good question.
Well, I guess nobody goes to games anymore. Is that true, Bob? And Mary, have you been going?
Well, but how does a major league team in any sport go into debt?
I don't know.
They'll probably blame it on the lack of a TV deal because they got what's happened the last few years with that. But you sell tickets. Your payroll has been cut.
According to this article, it says the debt is only part of what's complicating a potential sale. Additionally, the franchise has been subject to multiple revenue struggles, from challenges with television partners to market size to dwindling attendance. There's also a belief, according to The Athletic, that executive chair Joe Pohlad would like to stay in control of the club,
right?
And him remaining with the team in some role, wouldn't be a possibility after a sale.
Hey, what else is he going to do? He's never had a job, so of course he wants to stay with the club. Just live off the money.
It's just so sad. Well, remember, the Pohlads already tried to fold this team once. What, about 30 years ago or something like that?
They wanted did they want to move it? They had fold it or move it is what they were doing. You know what, Joe Pohlad, nobody's going to keep you. You're not exactly, looked upon as one of the best executives in baseball. So that's not happening. He wants to stay on. It's actually laughable.
I just don't understand. I mean, is baseball going to last much longer in Minnesota? Because I guess nobody goes to those games anymore.
But why don't they? Because they're not competitive. When they decided to cut payroll last year, why would you go see them play?
Well, and
because they're telling you we're not going to spend any money on the team.
Well, after paying your debt, you'd still have $1 billion. I think I would sell the team.
Agree.
Well,
I would too.
Right?
Agree.
Well, if somebody wants to buy it, but who's going to buy it?
I guess there was somebody that wanted to buy it for 1.5, or they were in talks, apparently.
Yeah, but then they bought it.
That was a guy. He was the minority owner with the White Sox, one of the other major league teams, and then he decided to go more in with that. I would think that at some point, A-Rod, because it's not A-Rod, but he's got the Bloomberg money now.
Right.
And his partner, let them come up with a group. Then they have both the Timberwolves and the Twins. Or whatever people think about the Vikings, the Wilfs are not afraid to spend money.
No, that's true.
So maybe they should. I don't know how big a baseball fan they are, though.
It just breaks my heart because baseball, look, I like football. I've always loved the Vikings. Basketball, I like, I don't know much about hockey, but Louis Nanny dragged me into that. So I like hockey too.
You like Louis?
Yeah, I like Louis a lot. Louis is a great guy, but I don't know if I want to live in a city that doesn't have a Major League Baseball team.
Well, right now there's not talk of moving it, but
no.
If you get a new owner who spends some money to make the team competitive, people will come. You asked earlier about, how good if the team is good, people will come and watch it.
Yes, they will.
But the other thing is, I have a long-standing moratorium on not going to Minneapolis. Some people don't want to be bothered because it's a crap hole, despite what their mayor says.
Well, I understand. I've heard from many, many, many people that leaving a game at night in downtown Minneapolis is very dangerous now. Did you find this same to be true?
Well, I just don't go down there anymore. I mean, when I stopped going, I made one. I have gone to Minneapolis once or twice in the last 5 or more years. When I stopped covering Viking games, I pretty much stopped going to Minneapolis. I had to pick up one of my sons a few years ago from a bachelor party. And then I went, why did I go? I went to the convention center like last year for something related to, but that's not hard to get in and out of, something related to the school board. And that's it. I really have no interest in going to Minneapolis.
I go downtown pretty frequently.
Oh, do you still?
Dan works downtown, and I go. Yeah, we go to Timberwolves games pretty regularly, and we never have had any problem with anything.
Well, if you get into one of the ramps, there's a lot of traffic.
I feel like the Timberwolves, like when I worked for the Timberwolves, I was at like every home game, but it's set up a little bit differently. Like you can park in the ramps, and you've got the Skyway, and they have security. I went to a concert last summer, the State Theater, literally parked right across the street and felt uncomfortable crossing the street to get to the State Theater.
Really?
Just because there was riffraff everywhere.
Oh, really? I went to, I don't know, I go to plays and musicals and stuff like that, and I've never had any sort of issue with anything.
Like which places? Like at
I went to go see, where did I just go? I saw Parade at the Orpheum, because the Ordway is St. Paul, probably like a month or so ago. Like Hennepin.
Down in Hennepin. You felt okay?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I see more riffraff at the Mall of America. Every time I go to the Mall of America, there's like a group of teen boys and police officers, and you're like, what is happening?
I hate it when my out-of-town relatives want to go to the Mall of America. I'm like, why? Why is that your choice?
Yeah. One time I was there was a homeless man that had his pants down, and we were like in Nickelodeon universe at the Paw Patrol thing, and Dan was like, that guy just had his stuff out. And I was like, what? And then all of a sudden there were police, and I was like,
lovely.
I was trying to play a Paw Patrol stuff.
There was a notice, and I don't know where it was. Catherine, where was that notice? It was from Minneapolis, St. Paul. It was from maybe the state of Minnesota, but it was from the Twin Cities, definitely. And in the article, looking for employees, they said in the article, if you have a criminal record, come work with us. It's like, what? If you have a criminal record, we want you to work for us.
Please.
What?
Well, DEI.
I guess
not anymore.
Gotta keep the
not anymore.
I just don't get it. Why do they want to accept criminals? You come and work with us if you're a criminal. You're a good criminal, I bet. What? I just do you remember what that was?
You're the one that told me about it. So
Yeah.
no,
Well,
I didn't.
here's the question though: was it a cutlery store and they want them to make shifts?
Yeah, maybe it's a possibility.
Well, the cynic in me says that they want to hire people like that so that they can underpay them.
Underpay
and
them.
If they complain, they can go to the parole officer and get them sent to prison.
There you go. I bet you that's what it is. They can
that's
underpay
evil.
them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, that's just wonderful. People are getting better by the day. People are getting better by the day, aren't they? I don't know what the hell. So, okay, well, let's get back to the Twins. It'll make me happy. The Twins, am I going to be able to watch any of the games on television this year? Are they going to find a television?
No, they worked out some kind of a deal.
Oh,
but
did they?
But right now, Tom, this is the best day of the season, even though it hasn't started, because right now there's the possibility they win every game.
Well, that's true. It's a very good point.
They're undefeated.
Tomorrow that may disappear.
They are undefeated, but I have heard whispering that they're having a really hard time finding somebody that wants to run their games on television.
No, they said there was something a few weeks ago that they made some kind of a deal where they're going to have games. Maybe not every one of them, but there'll be games on TV. What do they do? One of the streaming services is what they're working on, right?
I think so, yes. But they can't find anybody to do it yet, which is kind of sad news because.
But some of this also ties in, though. Again, you're in a deficit. You're lost money because people aren't coming. People aren't coming because you're not any good, and TV stations don't want you because you aren't any good. It all ties in.
I know, but you know, how the Pohlads can be underwater. Aren't they worth like $5 billion?
They're worth billions. You know what? Throw some of your own dough in there.
Yeah, how about that?
And also, what kind of money? How are they taking money out of it too?
Well, they are though, aren't they?
Well, they must be because I mean, that's what we don't know, how they got to this deficit.
I don't. It just what'd you say? $450 million they're in debt.
It's incredible.
I mean, how did that even? How did you get above 100 million? Is what I don't get.
How did you go in debt at all? You should be making money hand over fist.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, they've got all these contracts they sign. They're signing contracts for $50 million a player. It's like
they're cutting. They cut the payroll last year. They have really cut it to the bone. And then I'm going to switch over to the. I am not outraged is too strong, but I am bothered that what's that? Yes, thank you. That the Wild and St. Paul want hundreds of millions to renovate the the stadium or the arena that they have. You know what? You got the arena. It's up to you to maintain it once you have it.
I agree.
You shouldn't be coming to the state looking for money, especially a state that's $6 billion in the hole.
Why is the state? That's the other thing. Why is the state of Minnesota $6 billion in the hole?
Because it's mismanaged. Tom, how do you go from 18 billion, almost 19 billion a few years ago to now where it's 6 billion in the hole? Because they pissed that money away when they had the 18 billion.
But what did they buy that was so great for 60 or for $12 billion?
We'll never know.
Yeah, I guess we'll never know.
They did give a lot of money to Feeding Our Future.
Oh God, that was a great idea.
True.
What a great idea that was, Feeding Our Future. So they fell for that scam too.
Okay, I have frustration with our legislators and our government. Our state government. I'm on a school board, as I think all of you know. Now they have many mandates. One of them now This does not affect taxes. All it affects is the state legislature saying, okay, you can do that. And what we want them to do, and it's not just my district, it's every district in the state. Across the state, people are cutting staff. They're struggling, but they call them at the state. I was at the state legislature the other day to talk to some of these legislators. They call them silos. Like, there's a silo of money here. Well, you can't take money from here and move it to the general fund, so you could not reduce your staff or let people go and actually, not be in a deficit somewhere else. Why they don't allow you to, as a district, to manage your own money is beyond me. It's destroying districts across the state.
I think it's commingling.
Just let us move the money over.
So it is commingling, Andy. You can't do that.
I think so. Yeah, it's to prevent people from siphoning money or embezzling it.
No, you know what? No, here's the problem with the legislators. They come up with mandates, and they don't even think how it hurts and how it impacts. They all think they're do-gooders. That's what they believe, and they're not. Look to me. How do you not have a single Democrat a few weeks ago vote to overturn and basically do what Trump mandated, but in our state you can't. Boys playing in girls sports. It was 67 basically. You needed 68 votes. Not a single outstate. Every legislator, they're all lemmings on both sides. They do what the party tells them to do. And I find that to be disgusting. Vote for your constituents. Vote for the state. What's that?
Did you hear what's happening in Texas? They've discovered that 46 politicians in the state of Texas who pretend to be Republicans are actually Democrats. They lied and said they were Republican.
Oh yeah, they
just
do that
to get
all
elected
the
in those districts.
Yep.
I mean, now they're lying about that.
Is this at the state level or the federal level? State
level. It's Texas, the state of Texas. 46 people are really Democrats, but they claimed to have been Republicans to get elected. How is that not a federal or at least a state offense? I don't get it.
Well, now that they're in, they can say they're Democrats. They won't get reelected in those Republican districts.
I don't know. I just wish people would stop lying about everything. Everything's a lie.
Government Hot Wheels needs to do something about it, Tom. Did you hear that? This Jasmine Crockett, that nut job.
Yeah. Oh my God! What is her
Governor
deal?
Abbott, Governor Hot Wheels?
Governor Hot Wheels because he's in a wheelchair.
She's a little wacky.
And then she said, I
and
didn't
then
mean
she
it that
denied it
way.
and said, "Oh, I didn't say anything wrong."
Yeah, she denied. She called him Governor.
Just like our governor was Governor Walz was joking when he was making fun of Tesla and the Tesla stock tanking because I'm sure he didn't know that 1.6 million shares are in the state pension fund. But then it was a joke, and people on the other side don't have a sense of humor.
But on the other hand, why wouldn't you check to see if Tesla stock is in your government stock? Wouldn't you check first before you start running your mouth? That guy is the worst governor we've ever had, ever.
I mean, he got reelected twice.
Oh,
he can't even beat up your governor. It's like,
I can't beat up your governor.
What's the upside?
All right, you two have a magnificent day. Thanks for being on the show. We appreciate it immensely. You got to go too, don't you, Alex? That's right.
11:30. Gotta go.
All right, we'll talk to all three of you later.
Toodaloo.
Talk to you Monday. See ya.
We'll take a break.
Bye-bye.
Be right back right after this. Josh Arnold will join us next.
Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety for wondering if you saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments must involve risk. You know that. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
Let's talk about my bank. That'd be North American Banking Company, of course. Look, it's easy to feel like just another account number at the big national banks, but that's not how it works with my friends. And again, I've told people this before. I don't call people my friends if they're not really my friends. Bilski at North American Banking Company, whether you're visiting their locations in Roseville, 50th in France, Hastings, Woodbury, Shoreview, or Maple Grove, you'll always find real people who know you by name and actually care about your finances, not some AI chatbot. They also offer all the modern conveniences you expect, like online and mobile banking, but with a personal touch that only a community bank can offer. So why settle for less when you can bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Visit that's nabankco.com. That's nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Josh going to come on with us?
He is. Let's see if he's there or not.
See if he can
not yet.
Up. He's not there yet. Typical Josh Arnold. He's supposed to be on 11:30, right?
Yeah.
11:30
I sent
Central
him the
Time.
link.
Okay, Josh, typical. Well, we can wait around for him. So what else is going on in the news, Andy, we should know about? Anything good?
Well, we should give a shout out to
Excellent.
Diaper.
Diaper?
It's pronounced diaper, which honestly is kind of a not great name when it comes to like spreading word of mouth. But it's spelled DYPER. That's what we use for Ethan. And this isn't an ad. It's just we were legitimately surprised that the 3-day backup that came out yesterday didn't spread all over the place.
3-day backup? What do you mean?
For Colin. Remember we told you about that on the way way home or wherever that was.
3-day backup.
3 days.
Oh my God.
Well, we flew on Monday, so you know that often causes problems. He hadn't gone on Sunday, and then yesterday evening, all at once, he was sleep. He slept for 4 hours. That's the other thing, is he was asleep.
Right.
From like 1 to 5, and I go in the room at 5 o'clock, and I'm like, I think I know why he's awake.
Oh God.
Because you could smell it immediately.
Give up the funk.
Yeah. So I start changing his diaper, and I'm like, Melissa, I think we're gonna need to shower him off. And she's like, there's no way we need to shower him off. Here's some wipes. Whoops. And then I like opened the diaper up so she could see it, and she's like, holy crap. So she took him into the shower.
Yeah.
So yeah, big shout outs to Diaper DYPER for containing a blowout, because blowouts are one of the worst things in the world.
I could imagine that.
Yeah,
to be
we've
true.
we've
yes.
had a few of them. We had a few of them with Ethan when he was a baby. I think Collins had one or two, but yeah, no. Anything that contained those is a friend of mine. So honestly, I'm thinking I might contact them and be like, hey, we can be your brand ambassador on this show because we like them.
So I have to ask you a question. So how is it traveling? Because it's been so many years since you and Alex were that age and we travel. How is it traveling with little children now?
I mean, depends on the age. So Ethan was good because we just gave him his tablet and he played games. And I mean, even even when I was a kid, it wasn't. Oh, Josh is calling me. Hold on a second.
Okay, yeah.
Open up Wise Brother or something.
Open up Wise Brother. No, I mean, when Andy gets back, we'll have him deliver the absolute news on this. But of course, you know, his son Ethan stole my birthday. He was born on November 7th, which was my birthday, but now it's his birthday, of course, so I don't get a birthday. But his son is about 3.5 years old now, right? They measured him. He is 41 inches tall, which means he's got 7 inches. He's 3.5 feet tall at 3 years old. I have never heard of a kid being, I'm sure there had to have been some out there because people grow to be 7 feet tall and all the rest of it. But this kid is 3.5 feet tall and he's 3.5 years old. So maybe you can give us a buzz and let us know if that's normal or whatever. I'm just talking about the fact that
no, it is not normal.
Ethan is 3.5 feet tall, almost 4 feet tall already.
Yep, and we did the percentile calculator just before we left, and he's 96th percentile for both height and weight.
And he's not fat.
Well, no, the fact that he's proportional, yeah.
I mean, he's
just
very
gigantic.
Well, he's very muscular too. And
no,
why?
He sure is. We have no idea. He's just gigantic, and
he's a gigantic
it just is what it is for no apparent reason.
I guess so. Josh on the horn with us?
No, I sent him the email again. He's going to look for it.
Yeah, typical Josh.
I don't know. It's probably going to spam or something. But
no, it's so amazing because he showed up. We hadn't seen him in a few months, obviously, and he showed up, and he's literally, honest to God, he comes up to basically the lower, like where your chest bone is. He's almost that tall on me. I think he is that tall on me, actually.
Yeah, 41 inches.
41
at the age of barely 3.
Because I'm like 6 feet tall, somewhere in there.
Well, he's almost 3.5 now.
Oh my God! I mean, it just is that normal? And then maybe listeners could. So it's just
well, like
not
I said, 96
anymore.
percentile means he is taller than 96% of kids his age
on Earth.
In the country. But America is a relatively tall country. So if you took 100 kids his age, he would be taller than all but 4 of them.
Really?
Yep.
Honest to God.
Which causes problems because he can reach absolutely everything.
Well, that is a huge problem because he still thinks like a 3.5-year-old.
Yep, that's the thing, is the brain does not mature fast just because you're very, very tall.
It is unbelievable. I should take this time too, because Josh might be popping on in a second. I hope he does. But there he is. Are you on your bicycle again?
Nope, not on my bicycle.
He's walking through
the abode. You're walking through the house. That's what you're doing.
Correct.
Talking about Andy's son, Ethan is 3.5 years old and he's 41 inches tall.
That's a tall kid. Well, Andy's a tall guy. You're a tall guy.
I'm not 96th percentile tall though.
No, God.
But the kid eats well.
He's been eating all day, every day since we got down here.
Josh, I'm really glad that you were able to pop on today because I brought this up already on the show and I wanted to run it by you because this is the kind of thing I believe that infuriates you. Did you know that I think it's 46 people in the state, it might be 36, but I think it's 46% of people elected in the state of Texas ran as Republicans and they're really Democrats? Did you know about this?
I did not know about that. But I've seen that happen in other states.
Oh, you have?
Yeah. I mean, just look at some of the states.
Yeah.
In the nation. Look at New York.
Look at Minnesota.
Yeah.
People that are pretty conservative, are still running as Democrats in blue states.
But I just really don't understand. And then the Democrats are running as Republicans in the red states. Why would you want to elect someone who lies about what they really think? Why would you want to elect?
You wouldn't want to do that.
No,
I
really
wouldn't want to do that. But it's definitely not truth in advertising, and it's not giving people really what they want.
No, I have to agree with you on that one. I don't want to change what you want to talk about here, but I just was. Why would you ever do that? Someone lie about your party, whether it's a Republican lying or a Democrat lying. Don't lie to me out of the box. If you're willing to lie about that, what else are you willing to lie about?
Well, there are a lot of things. There are a lot of things. Just take a look. If you want to go on politics right now, just take a look at the number of people that are running around the country, on the Stop Oligarchy tour.
Yeah.
And they say they're Democrats, but they're really not Democrats. They're socialists or communists. And people have voted overwhelmingly for these people, including one guy that came within a whisker in 2020 of being the presidential candidate for the Democratic Party.
Really?
And he's that white-haired guy from Vermont who says that who used to say all millionaires are bad.
Yeah.
Somebody pointed out to him that in the time that he has been a senator making under $200,000, he has accumulated something like $25 or $30 million in wealth. I guess it pays to be a socialist or a communist. I'm guessing.
And the fun part is he's even older than Biden.
He is even older than Biden.
He's 83 years old,
but he's a lot sharper.
Who is
he?
It?
He is sharp as a tack.
Right. That's right.
And he's once again asking for your support.
Yeah,
he's an independent.
But I just wait a minute. You're collecting all this wealth, and you're saying, "Well, I'm for the working man."
Right.
And we're against the guy that wears the red tie and the white shirt and the big black overcoat. And he walks around, and they complain about him. Well, he's an oligarch, and he's rich and wealthy, and how can he be for the working man? And I'm thinking, hey, he's made his wealth. He is for the working man. Have you ever seen the guy says, "This is who I am. I'm not playing around. I am a wealthy man. I made my wealth in real estate, and yes, I did inherit some money. But here's what I'm doing. I go out on the job site. And when I go out on the job site, I'm wearing the same things that you see now. I've got my bright white shirt, my red tie. I've got my black overcoat. I've got my Gucci loafers. And because I have to wear a white hard hat on the job site, I walk around like that. I am not a fake guy saying, well, I'm for the working man, and I've just gone out to Tractor Supply, and I've got my Cathcart bib overalls. I've got my brand new work boots and a Cathcart jacket, and I've got some gloves and a tool belt. And now I'm walking on the job site saying, yep, I'm one of you guys. Really? You know, people can see right through that.
I just can't believe that. I was just looking up some things while you were talking. There are politicians that are worth nearly $100 million, and they claim to have been worth nothing when they were elected. $100 million, and I don't care if it's 2, 3, 4 terms. That's a lot of money to be collecting in even 4 terms.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the reasons when I used to ask my father, I just don't get it, Dad. All these guys are going into politics and they might be making, at that time, $50,000 a year for being a representative. How come they live in such big houses and they all drive and they're being driven around in limos?
Mm-hmm.
And my dad just gave one of his wry smiles.
His wry smile. Okay.
That's WRY. That's not RYE as in rye bread, but the
I was thinking
rye smiles and shook his head and said, now you know why people are paying them off to get stuff done.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they don't exactly, they're not like, see, if I were a crooked politician, I'd be living in a modest house with a modest car. So people aren't like, hey, I wonder where he got all this extra money from.
Right.
Although they're never investigated. So I guess why bother, right?
Right.
So I have bad news for both Ethan and Josh, because I know they're both very tall, but Tire Carver's son has them both beat. Do you remember meeting his kid several years ago?
Yeah, several years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he is now 7'2".
His son is 7'2".
Yep.
Holy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how old is he?
He didn't say in the chat yet.
Tiger, you got to tell us, how old is your son? Your son is 7'2" now.
What if he's like 10 years old?
I hope he's a little older than that, because he's going to end up being what was that guy's name? It grew to be
Wadworth or whatever.
8'11". Yeah,
Wadlow. Robert
Wadlow. Yeah,
well,
feet 11.
If he's that tall and he's in 6th grade, he's going to have some coordination problems.
He's going to have problems. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the new coach of the Gophers is going to be out recruiting him.
Well, you got that right.
He is 22.
22 years old.
So he's done growing, thankfully.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being 7'2"?
Boy, it's got to be
ducking under
world.
every door.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
it's true.
That's a tall person.
Well, Tire's about my height, isn't he? He's about 6'1", something like that.
Something like that.
That just goes to show you how good the nutrition is.
Yeah.
In America.
Here in the United States.
Well, I keep saying everyone out where I live is like 6 feet tall, including the teenage girls. It's the weirdest thing. They're just walking around all gigantic, and I'm like, this must be what it feels like to be a resident of West Palm Beach when a Minnesotan comes here.
Well, but I'll tell you what, there's a woman in this building. She looks to be around maybe 35, maybe 40, but I'd guess 35. She's 6'4".
Yeah. Oh, Darren just said his dad is 6'9" and he's 5'11", and he's very glad he's not 6'9".
He's 5'11".
5'11" is a good height.
So you go, Dad is
the best height.
6 foot what?
6'9".
6'9", and his son is 7'2", and he's stuck in the middle.
No, Darren is someone else.
Oh, that's right. Oh, you said Darren.
Yes,
that's right. Okay.
Darren. Yeah, no, yeah. Darren's dad is 6'9". So yeah, I wouldn't be happy at 6'9". I don't
Buying
think.
some shoes must be a real thrill.
Let's see. Tires. Wife's side of the family, everyone is between 6'2" and 6'7".
Jesus.
So yeah, I guess there's where the height came from.
Some big kids.
Yep.
Now, Josh, I wonder if you saw this piece. I wish I could find the article. I had it, but I can't find it. But there is a company in Minnesota, and I'm sorry I don't have the article in front of me. They actually, in the article, this company says, if you have a criminal record, come work with us. It's like, what? You're wanting criminals to come and work with you.
Well, let's say they do have a criminal record, and they have been released, and they're trying to start a new life. So
yeah, I guess we're good.
And a lot of those people are able-bodied and could use a job. So somebody could look in the construction industry. They could look for that especially. And there are plenty of jobs plenty of jobs available in construction, and that's both we'll say highway construction, we'll say telecom construction and telecom build out, and both residential and commercial construction.
There you have it.
Or you could take somebody that took a chance on my brother-in-law after he served time for a major drug offense decades ago. So that would have been in the early 80s. And after he served his time and was released, friend of his took a chance on him in the industrial tool business. My brother-in-law worked in industrial tool sales for a lot of years and then started his own industrial tool company called Eric's Industrial. And he made a very good living selling tools, primarily on construction sites in South Florida. Eric, unfortunately, said enough was enough because he had several illnesses, and we'll say left this world last June.
Left the world.
Left the world.
Well, that's not good news.
No, he did. He passed away, and he now resides behind. He resides with his mother, his father, and his sister, my wife, in Edina, just on France Avenue at the Adath Yeshurun Cemetery. They were all born in New Haven, Connecticut. Grew up in Toledo, Ohio, and now reside peacefully by the Minnehaha Creek on France Avenue.
Well, there you have it. I know we only got a couple more minutes, but I want to say something, and I'm not going to reveal a lot of the ins and outs of the whole situation. But as you know, I look at our advertisers. I mean, North American Banking Company. Where do I bank? I bank at North American Banking Company. You just go down the list. Jim Paul. I love the guy. He's been my friend for years. Bought many cars from the guy. Well, I found out that there's a company, I'll say, that I own part of, that's going to go on the market the next couple of years, next 24 months, something like that. And what am I going to do? I'm going to reach out to my consultant. That would be Josh Arnold. I talked to Josh about it last night. I think there might be a lot of people out there that do commercials for people, but they don't really mean it, or they don't really, put their money where their mouth is. But I want to know people up front. I want people to know up front that when this company does sell, I will take that money and I will go to Josh because, well, first of all, it's very selfish because I wouldn't want me controlling where to put money. I will tell you that. I don't think it's a good idea. But I talked to Josh about it last night, and I think you and I talked about this over the last couple of years. We go out to lunch or whatever and talk about this, that, and the other thing, and how the best, the best way to go and all that stuff. But I appreciated your loyalty, and you've given me great advice in the past. And one of the reasons I've done well is because I've known you. And when that company sells, I will be with Josh Arnold, and I'm very happy about that, Josh.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks for the vote of confidence.
Well, it's true
in me personally, and what I do is as an investment advisor for you, and can do for all your listeners. Of course, past performance is no guarantee of future results.
Well, you got to say that.
No guarantees.
Mm-hmm. That's a legal thing to do. But that's one thing, Josh, that you and I have talked about is, I'm not the kind of guy that goes off on a flyer or all the rest of it. I understand that, there's no guarantee with investing money and all the rest of it, but I've seen you operate in the past and had many dinners with you and all the rest of it. I'm very confident that when that comes and I put it with you, that I'm going to be very, very happy about it. And again, I want people to know if I talk about somebody, I use their business. I'm not one of these guys, oh, you should go there. I don't, but you should. That's not how I am. And that's all there's to it.
That I appreciate. And
you're an honest man.
As we like to say, and I say we because my number two son who is my designated successor should anything happen to me. We have always said that we eat our own cooking at Josh Arnold Investment Consultant. We are, I'll say, my family is the largest client, so to speak. And we invest in the exact same things at the exact same time as our clients.
Yeah, see, I'm glad you said it that way, because I pulled it up more. Livia, I am on the Livia program. That's just how it is. Welshire, I've known that family for 40 years. Welshire does a wonderful job for people in retirement. There's this guy named Josh Arnold on this script. I don't know who that is, but he's one of those kind of guys. But there's Michael Bryant, there's Bilski. I do not do commercials for people unless I use their product.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much for supporting me all these years, and we're going to work together. Whether you want to get the hell away from me or not, we're still going to work together in the future, whether you want to or not.
That sounds great. I do have to get away from you, and I've got to go see one of my clients for lunch. And we can. And she is a big Twins fan.
Oh God!
Opening day tomorrow down in St. Louis.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to talking to you again next week, I hope.
Look forward to it. Thanks very much.
Thanks, pal. Josh Arnold, ladies and gentlemen, you can reach out to Josh. And like I said, I'm not going to sit here and tell you should put your money with Josh Arnold. You should put your money in the North American Banking Company. You should hire Michael Bryant. And then I don't. That's not the way I operate. If I do the commercials, I use the product, and that's all there is to it. And that'll be the same with Josh. It's only going to be at like $2-3, but it's still going to use them.
Hey, get that 10% return, 30 cents.
There you go. Get the 30 cents going.
You could buy a gumball once a year.
Andy, don't you think that's important, that if I'm telling you to do something, that I should do it as well?
Well, yeah, definitely.
But I don't think a lot of people do that. They'll tell you to do it, but they won't.
Oh yeah, that's one of the reasons like celebrity endorsements never meant anything to me. It's like, I don't know, when some of them make sense. Like I think what is it, Ryan Reynolds who does the aviation gin? And it's like, it's a good gin. We bought it because he endorsed it. Well, Melissa wanted me to get it because he endorsed it, even though she doesn't drink gin. And now it's one of my favorite gins. But
there you go.
Gin is also one of those things that even rich people drink. But like,
That's true,
if a celebrity's like talking about some like budget vehicle, it's like, you're clearly not driving that. Or should I say your chauffeur is clearly not driving that.
All right. That is going to do it for today. But that stuff is important to me. Maybe to some people it's not very important and blah, 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 but it is important to me. If I'm going to tell you to do it, I'm going to tell you the truth. You should invest your money with Josh Arnold, because I'm going to do it, because he's very good at what he does. And that's just how it is. We will talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.
Every time I hear the same, reminds me how you talking.